Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the future of the water and wastewater industry and the careers you didn't know about. And we are again live on location at the Connecticut Section AWWA at Cave Annual Vendor Conference and Vendor Expo. And with us in the house from the supply side of things in the water industry, Mr. Jeff Hauser. He is from the McWane Ductile Company. So, hi, Jeff. How are you, buddy?
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming in and talking about what you do. So tell me on the. So obviously you're in supplying ductile iron pipe, which is I think a main staple in the water industry. So tell me how you got into it.
Well, it's kind of interesting. My dad started out in the waterworks industry back in 1966.
Okay.
Started with a little company called Ludlow Rensselaer Valve, Rensselaer,
Okay.
New York. Went on to the McWane Group of companies in their pipe division. And I picked up with them. I guess I'm just about 32 years with those folks now.
Wow.
So I work directly for the manufacturer.
Okay.
So we manufacture ductile iron pipe in Phillipsburg, New Jersey.
Okay.
Two other facilities, Coshocton, Ohio, and Provo, Utah.
Okay. Nice. Now, I think ductile is pretty much the staple in the industry now.
Absolutely.
I
By
think.
and large, the majority of our municipalities are specifying ductile iron pipe for longevity, for durability.
Yeah.
Very well respected product.
Right. I know I've been in the industry 50 years, and there was a time where transite or asbestos was, the flavor du jour, so to speak.
Sure.
And so forth,
Absolutely.
and that became, the pariah, so to speak. Now, I mean, really, but there's still a lot of transite out there.
There is,
know.
and folks are, working their budget so they can replace it with a.
Replace that and issues and so forth. So, tell us a little bit about the manufacturing process on ductile iron. So obviously it's a higher tensile steel than back in the day. I grew up with a lot of the pit cast cast iron.
Your gray iron.
Yeah, gray iron, so to speak.
That type of thing. Sure.
Lead joints and
Okay.
whatever.
So you're going back a bit, but
Yeah.
No, I mean, ductile iron pipe. We've been manufacturing that since the 70s.
Okay.
We made the transition from what would be gray iron.
Okay.
The elevator speech is we buy shredded up automobiles,
Okay.
structural plate steel. We add magnesium and silicone.
Okay.
So we melt down that raw material centrifugally. We'll cast the pipe. We'll put it through a heat treating process, and we'll change the metallurgic structure.
You're right.
So it basically softens the iron. If you consider your gray iron is more of a brittle,
Yes.
side, where your ductile is more flexible, more durable. That word ductility comes into play.
Right.
So
right.
we're stronger, so we can handle internal loads better,
Higher
external
tensile strength.
loads, higher tensile strength. We have that modules of elasticity that allows us some movement to basically dance with the dirt, if you will,
Yes.
with frost penetration, ground movement, so the pipe won't just fail, it will absorb some of that.
Yes. Now, joints wise, now obviously most of the joints are rubber gaskets, correct?
Rubber gasket push-on
Yeah.
is probably the favored joint.
Yeah.
As it sounds, you're pushing a plane end into a bell and compressing the gasket to make that watertight seal.
Right.
Product that's rated at 350 psi working pressure.
Okay.
With a 2-to-1 safety factor and 100 psi surge allowance, the pipe is good for as much as 900 psi.
Oh well. Okay.
So
you
very over-designed,
Right.
and a good level of comfort,
got a
of
lot of
safety
headroom there. Yeah,
built in.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Now, do you guys get into flange stuff at all, or?
We do it, our sister company in Ohio.
Okay.
And actually, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Clearwater Manufacturing here in Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
They're actually a McWane-owned company now.
Really? Okay.
They come on board with us. I think we're in the second year with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're very much involved in plant. We have McWane Plant Industrial Group.
Okay.
That does a full line of plant products. We have sister companies of Clow Valve and Hydrant.
Okay.
Who are on the floor today.
Okay.
Kennedy Valve and Hydrant.
Okay.
Tyler Union in mechanical joint and ductile iron fittings.
Mm-hmm.
We have a pretty wide range of products that folks don't always associate McWane with, other than the
Right.
pipe group.
Right, right. Now, when you explain the process, I mean, you use a lot of recycled materials.
We do. We
You
do.
know.
90+ percentage of our product is a recycled material.
Has that always been the case, or
It has.
It has.
It
Okay,
has.
all right.
Yeah.
'Cause, a lot of times, like I say, going up with pit cast and gray iron or whatever, a lot of that. Now, do you do manufacturing tours as far as?
We do.
Yeah. Okay.
We do. We typically will partner with one of our local distributors.
Okay.
So we do like to get folks in the facility.
Okay.
We do a combined, we have a ductile iron 101 training
Yep.
that's approved by the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
So we'll do that training in conjunction with the foundry tour,
Yeah.
and folks get up and close and personal and
See how the sausage is made.
see how the sausage is made, and say, if you have any troubled teens, that's a good place to make them decide they want to go to work or go to school.
Yes, yes.
As opposed to that, I mean, we certainly appreciate the folks in the foundry,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they do. They're hardworking men and women.
Well, and again, that's all part of that, as I say, career in the water industry, in the wastewater industry. The umbrella is just so wide. I mean, you've got
Absolutely.
engineering, you're obviously in the supply side, but talk a little bit about the foundry people. I mean, that's a whole nother aspect of the industry.
Absolutely. And I credit our management team that environmental health and safety are our three keys that
Sure.
we really start with. Certainly we want to make product and we want to, make it efficiently, but we want to be safe. We want
Yes.
to be healthy.
Yes.
We want folks to, walk home with, what they came with, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a difficult job.
Yeah.
It's tedious in some areas.
Mhm.
We're fortunate. We do like to rotate folks in different areas of the foundry,
Okay.
so they have, well-rounded background. If we're short in melting, we can move folks from, say, finishing or what have you. But it's pretty distinct from. The easy part is to make the pipe,
Right.
but now we've got to test it, inspect it. We do 500 psi water pressure test. Then we'll cement line the interior of the pipe.
Now, how does that cement lining process work?
That again is a centrifugal process.
Okay,
We're
so-
pouring, an auger induces a loose Portland cement
Okay.
in the pipe.
As
and
it
it's
rotates?
spun,
Okay.
to first get it in the pipe, then a second high-speed spin to kind of wring out the additional moisture.
Yeah, yeah.
And compact the lining at the same time.
Mhm.
We found that over the years, cement lining is a good barrier from the minerals inside the water that
Uh-huh.
would potentially grab on the inside of the pipe wall and tuberculate the pipe.
Right, right,
So
right.
that's been the best that we've found to line the pipe with.
Okay. Now, when you're manufacturing the pipe, what do you do? A run of? What's the smallest diameter pipe that you guys are dealing?
Right now, 4 inches,
4
is
inches.
our smallest.
Okay.
But we'll run, our casting floor is made up of 5 side-by-side casting machines.
Okay.
So we can run, conceivably, we could run 5 different sizes
Okay.
at the same time.
Mhm.
But typically, 8 inches are bread and butter.
Yeah, yeah.
So more than not, we'll be running 2 machines on that.
Uh-huh.
One on small diameter, 4-inch, 6-inch, then the others depending on what demand we have
Right,
in front of us.
Now, what's the largest diameter you guys run now?
We do up to 24 in our facility in New Jersey,
Oh, okay.
36 in our Ohio facility
Uh-huh.
and our Utah facilities.
Mhm. Now, has the COVID thing been? Has there been a supply chain issue with you guys as far as in relation to manufacturing?
There certainly was. Through COVID, we had interruption with, conflicts overseas with our scrap at that time.
Uh-huh.
But we're over a year
Oh.
with that in the rearview mirror. So
Okay.
we're back to, I hate to keep saying back to pre-COVID.
Yeah.
We're back to normal.
Right, right, right.
Whatever normal
Is
now.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. Yeah, I get this. Now, did the COVID thing affect your industry? Obviously, or?
we were an essential, as
Okay.
many of our waterworks folks were.
Okay.
So we didn't miss a beat as far as that went. In fact, we had to gear up our production
Okay.
to try to combat the increased demand.
Yeah. Oh, well.
We're at a point where demand was just far exceeded our supply.
So when you're supplying that, you deal with distributors, or
We do.
can you deal directly with utilities, or?
But in some cases, in some areas, we have from, really from, past history.
Okay.
But, I mean, really in the state of Connecticut, the larger utilities are dealing with our local distribution.
Okay, yeah, that's the whole, thing as far as distribution process goes. You know, I mean, my second career, or actually my degree's in music, and so I've owned a music store and all that kind of stuff, and dealing with manufacturers versus distributors and so forth. Sometimes I don't do enough volume to deal directly, so you have to deal with a distributor. I'm assuming the same type of thing is with you guys. Or,
Well, I mean, we certainly respect our local distribution and
Sure.
what they bring to the market, as far as products and service and, 24-hour service, that type of thing, where clearly in New Jersey, we couldn't, handle something of that magnitude. So it, we certainly have kind of gone in that direction.
Right.
Because, again, those folks are in the territory, and, we'd like to support their efforts.
Sure. Now, do most distributors keep a fairly sizable stock on hand, or how does that work?
Certainly some more than others.
Okay.
We've kind of turned the tables at one point when supply was low. Folks were trying to almost hoard pipe, if you will. So
Okay.
they had some. Now, we're back to that normal level where I get a call today for a load of pipe. We could conceivably load it tomorrow and have it delivered the third day.
Oh, okay.
So we're, in common sizes, if we're more than 5 days, is a lot.
Okay.
So we're really, really back to where we should be.
Right.
This time of year where we would typically be.
Now, with aging infrastructure, obviously that's kind of been the elephant in the room in a lot of utilities as far as that goes. And a lot of utilities, depending on the size, it sometimes it's an issue, not only affording it, but prioritizing. Okay, what needs to be done and what has to be done and what can be put off.
Certainly.
And I think that's the golden combination of kind of balancing that on a fine bubble, and making sure that you're basically serving your customers, and obviously you're dealing in again, aging infrastructure and water leaks and that type of stuff. Now do you also deal in the flanges at all, or is that one of your sister companies?
Our sister companies will do that piece.
Okay.
I mean, we're, as pipe manufacturers, the straight pipe is more our
bailiwick.
our bailiwick, right. We'll get into specialty products, river crossing pipe, ball and socket is a
Okay.
specialty.
Okay.
Designed particularly for a river type crossing, type
Mhm.
setting. Long span pipe for long.
Now, when you say long span, what's the definition of long span versus?
Well, a long span pipe, if you envision going through an environmentally sensitive area and you have piers built up to carry the pipe,
Yeah.
you have a longer area where you need less support.
Okay.
Any other ductile pipe, you would want to have a single support per pipe.
Okay.
In this case, you can get out as far as 3 joints
Okay.
with having one support. So we see it, it's a rarity, but there are applications for it.
Okay.
Our restraint joint pipe will typically put that under a bridge,
Okay.
which is suited so that as it states, a restraint joint, so the pipe won't separate,
Right.
with forces and
Right.
bridge
Expansion,
movement, that
yeah,
type
and
of
all that
thing.
kind of stuff. So anyway, so how did you get into sales? I mean, when you graduated high school, college, or whatever, how did you end up being in sales?
It was kind of by accident. I had gone to school. My degree is in hotel restaurant management,
Okay.
so I'd always been in front of people. Had been, in customer service end of it. I made friends with an individual when I lived in Vermont
Mm-hmm.
that happened to manage a small supply house.
Uh-huh.
He lost a salesman. We got together over drinks one night, and he said, "Hey, you have any interest in selling pipe?" I said, "Gee, it sounds interesting."
Okay.
The hours were better.
Yeah.
So I thought
Yeah.
at the time. I was the hotel was nights and weekends.
Yeah,
This was a quote-unquote day job
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
until somebody called at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it needs
Had a water main break.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
So that was, back in the late 80s, and
Wow.
here I am still enjoying. Been a good run with McWane.
Well, that's a
Very
good
happy.
thing.
Good solid company, and they continue to grow and prosper. And they've, certainly done well for our family for a lot of years.
Well, that's half the battle, as far as that goes, Anyway, if you had any advice to give to high school seniors, college freshmen, what would you think about becoming sales, or
Sales is in my opinion, is an unlimited opportunity.
Okay.
Myself, I find I'm really believe in what I sell, and that means an awful lot.
Yeah.
If you're out there just for the dollar and not believing in it, folks will see through that.
Yeah, yeah.
I've met and made an awful lot of really good relationships over the years with a lot of great people. Waterworks industry is a great avenue to get into. A lot of hardworking men and women, and you can sell as specialty or as broad as you want.
Right, right.
So a good profession. I wouldn't change a thing.
Well, one of the things you mentioned is critical, and I keep telling my students, okay, growing up, and you'd never underestimate the value of networking. Okay.
Absolutely.
Because, as you said, relationships are built, and those relationships are, invaluable.
Absolutely.
When you're dealing with somebody, and like I say, anybody can sell widgets and whatever, but if you're not passionate about what you're doing and don't believe in what you're doing, it's you can put up as big a smoke screen as you want, they'll see right through it.
Sure. And those are the folks that bounce from job to job and
Yeah, yeah.
do different things. But to build that relationship, to have folks to the point where they're trusting and they want to seek you out for that information, you can't ask for anything better.
No, for sure, so forth. What do you like to do for hobbies?
Hobbies, I'm an outdoorsman.
Okay.
We have a lake house in the Adirondacks in New York State.
Nice.
So we're on the water on the weekends. Play 9 holes of golf here or there.
That's a beautiful thing.
Like to chase the whitetails, so we get in the woods and
Okay.
bow and arrow, muzzleloader, you name it.
Really?
So
Nice.
I've really a passion there.
Put a little venison in the freezer.
Absolutely, best thing going.
Yeah.
Good lean meat, and family enjoys it.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. Now, speaking of family, you have kids?
I do have one daughter,
Okay.
Nicole. She's married, has a couple of kids. So
Okay,
we're
so you're-
fortunate. We've got 2 grandkids now.
Nice.
2 granddaughters.
Nice.
So yeah,
So you got 2 grandkids to spoil.
absolutely, absolutely. We spoil them. We spend some time with them, and okay,
Then send them home.
we've had enough. Yep. Okay. Yep. Absolutely.
Exactly. So, one of the things that, one of my alter lives are, my degree is in music. So I own a music school and music store in Portland, and so forth. So I have a musical twist to me. So I said, what kind of music are you into?
Music, is classic rock
Okay.
has always been a good one. I do from time to time go on the countryside as well.
Okay.
So there aren't too many musics I don't care for.
Okay. You remember the first concert you ever went to?
That was Black Sabbath, Blue Oyster Cult.
Nice.
They were in Lebanon Valley Speedway,
Nice.
Lebanon, New York. That was quite the event.
I also do a music pod. My drum teacher at my music school does a music podcast. And it's the John Peckman podcast. And one of his guests, we had basically the bass player from Blue Oyster Cult, Joe Bouchard.
Oh, no kidding.
And that was, if you get a chance, listen to it, because it's Fear the Reaper, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, sure.
How that evolved, and his tour experiences. It was amazing.
Fascinating to listen to some of those stories and how
just
those songs evolved.
how those songs evolved,
Yeah.
and it was crazy, but it was really fun, and a really nice guy. But he lives in upstate New York, but he came down. He was doing a kind of a testimonial at for one of the musicians, and he came down, and it was great. It was
Oh, no
good.
kidding.
So fantastic. So, Anyway, if you got stuck on a desert island, what album would you bring to listen to?
That's a good question. Have to be AC/DC.
There you go. All right,
you know,
Back in Black.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, you got stuck on a desert island. Okay, what would be your food that you could eat every day?
Every day. Well, I'm a meat eater, so it'd have to be venison.
Nothing wrong
fish,
with that. Fish,
something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Wild game.
Wild game, fantastic. Well, excellent. Well, fantastic. Jeff, thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you, cornering me and.
No.
Okay,
hey.
you're next.
Yeah.
No.
It's like I said, we just try to keep it low key, and I distribute this podcast to all of the high school and college guidance counselors. So to give people and students possible insights into potential career opportunities, and it's a big umbrella, and we need to start. Excuse the water pun, but keep refilling the pipeline, so to speak, because
we do. Silver tsunami is coming,
or in our case, the bald tsunami.
Yeah, well, that too, but no, definitely. We're seeing the folks aging out, and
exactly. Here comes the time. So,
backfill,
Jeff, thanks so much for coming. All righty, fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this episode, of the future of the water and wastewater industry and the careers you didn't know about. Mr. Jeff Hauser was in the house, from McWane Industries, and McWane Ductile, the manufacturing of ductile iron pipes. So, Jeff, thanks so much. Have a great show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.